12 affirmations to live by. I have a positive self-image. I believe in myself. I define my purpose for living. I think positively with understanding and faith that I can realize my purpose. I constantly visualize my purpose, seeing it clearly in my mind. I always focus on the positive. I have confidence and courage to be inner directed. I have control of my mind, my body, my instincts, and my emotions. I always do it now. I have a plan for my success. I persist in my efforts with unshakable faith in my own ability. I execute my plan and produce desired results. Good morning, Sade. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Love below. Thank you. Good morning. Dr. Herbert Harris here, and it is Wisdom Wednesday. And today I want to focus on one of the exercises from the Success Toolbox. And by the way, if you don't have one, you need to get it. This month, when you get the Success Toolbox, you also get your autographed copy, numbered copy of the 12 Universal Laws of Success. This interesting book is the foundation for the Success Toolbox. As we begin this next portion of the year, and as we look at the reality of where we are, all we hear about is AI, artificial intelligence. One of the things that's becoming very clear is that everyone is going to have to change. Everyone is going to have to learn more. Everyone is going to have to master this thing called life. Because when the world changes, it's almost like the floor beneath us has been pulled out. I was reading where they're saying 300 million jobs will be eliminated. And I think Bill Gates' wife, Melinda Gates, said that AI was the greatest threat to our civilization. Now, when they tell you that from the top, we better know it. And so how do you position yourself to prepare for the upcoming changes? How do you put yourself in a position that no matter what happens, you're still in the game and you're still on top? Well, you need to get the Success Toolbox. Be sure to go to our website, herbertharris.com, and click on the top and get that Success Toolbox. One of the things in the Success Toolbox is an audio on how to study. Let's paraphrase that. An audio on how to learn. Over these next months, everybody's going to have to learn new stuff. And so, how do you learn? What is the process? Trust me, in the 12 Universal Laws of Success, in the Success Toolbox, there's a session called the SQ3R study method. And I'm going to reframe it. The SQ3R learning method. And so, if you need to learn something, and you will, to be ahead of the game, master the skill of learning. And so, what is the skill? Let's look at it. Anything you want to learn, if it's an article in a magazine, if it's a book you want to read, if it's a course you need to study and come out with a good grade, whatever you need to learn, anything you need to learn, the SQ3R method will help you. So let's look into this. S means survey. So if you're taking a course, for example, if you're taking a course in AI, okay, I just took a course to see what it was about. You're taking a course in AI, then the first thing you should do is look at the course material, look at the syllabus, survey the information. If you're reading a book, the first thing you should do is go to the table of contents. Look at what's in the book. Review the table of contents so that you know some of the material that's covered there. As you survey the book, flip through the pages to see the style of writing, the format. For example, the 12 Universal Laws of Success has a summary at the end of each chapter. So if I were really seriously studying this book, the first thing I would do is read the section on how to study, and then I'd go and I'd read the summary for each one of the chapters. As a matter of fact, as I progress through the book, I think I'd read the summary first. So this idea of surveying sets up a mindset, sets up an environment for you to learn. Q is questions. What questions do you feel that this book, this article, this course, many of us will be taking webinars and seminars. It's a good idea to get an outline, get an overview of the webinar and the seminar so that you have some questions, your expectations to learn. So if I pick up the 12 Universal Laws of Success, some of the questions I have is like, what will I learn about success? What is success? How do I become successful? Is there a process? Do I need to change anything? In other words, once you establish those questions, you've already set your mental expectations for learning. Welcome, Scooter, Nancy, Toshika, thanks for joining us. This process of how to learn is powerful because anything you're doing, you can apply it. So survey, Q is questions. R1 is to read it. Now, I recommend this, folks. Read it the first time. Let's look at it kind of a structural thing. When you look at the chapter, for example, before you jump into the reading, just take that chapter and turn through the pages and just look at them. You're amazed your mind is already beginning to scan and pick up the information. Just flip through the pages. Just looking at the form and how it's organized. And then now start that read, R1. Read it at your pace. Don't get bogged down on some of the words. There may be a word you don't know unless there's a problem where it undermines your understanding. But read it at a steady pace. And as you read, I'm a believer. I underline, I make notes. But as you read it, you may want to underline important stuff. For example, I'm reading a page. Be willing to change your life completely. Now, I'd underline that. Because if that's a key to success, I want to know it. You know. Once you've done that first reading, put the book down for a minute. Close your eyes, just take a deep breath. Let it out slowly. And say to yourself, I understand what I have read. I understand what I have read. Programming your mind. Then R2 is to review it. So now you go back through the same material and you look at where you made notes. You look at the underlinings. You look at the things that you highlighted before. And you focus on those things when you review it. Focus on the key points. Then, once you've gone through it, R3 is to recite it. Now, I want to make a little note here. So many of our people now say, I don't need to remember anything because I can always Google it. So I don't need to know that the retiring age of a pilot, the compulsory retirement age is 65. All I say is, I ask Google, what's the retirement age for a pilot? And it gives me the answer, 65. But I say this, folks, and take this very seriously. Your mind is like any other muscle in your body. Kenya Crooks is a personal trainer, good friend. And if you don't do your push-ups, if you don't do your sit-ups, if you don't do the things that exercise your muscles, you lose them. They become flabby. The same with your mind. If you don't retain it in your mind, don't worry about Google. Somebody may turn off the internet. There may be no power. I was in a McDonald's and when the computer went down, nobody could do basic addition and subtraction. I was at a club in New York with my daughter, and the computer went down and they couldn't give a check. So I said to the guy, I said, look, I gotta go. He said, well, our computer's down. We can't do the bill. I said, bring me the menu. I added the stuff up. I asked him, what's the sales tax? I added that. And I said, this is what I'll pay you. Everybody looked at me like I was walking on water. He said, could you do the rest of these? I got all these people waiting. So as with this AI world that we're in, warning, perfect your mind. So the R3 is to recite it. And this is where you go back through and you make sure that you learn the information contained. Now, if you're going to take a test, you need to put a little more effort in the R2 and the R3 to review and the recite. But if you're reading it for your own information, the recitation is still important, because when you can recite what you have read, that means you've gotten it. So, as you begin your journey, step 1 is to get the 12 universal laws of success and the success toolbox. We made that easy for you. Get the success toolbox and you automatically receive the 12 universal laws of success personally autographed for you. Use the success toolbox to transform your life. Perfect your ability to learn, because the skill of learning will serve you in anything you do. Master the SQ3R study method, a learning method. Survey what you're about to read, what you're about to learn. Have questions in your mind of what you should expect to get from that article, that book, that story. Read it, which means go over it. Review it, which crystallizes it. Recite it, which helps you retain it. When you can do these things, you're well on your way now to the next steps of the success toolbox. Now you can assess your situation where you are right now. Now you can ask those questions. Am I happy? If I'm not happy, why am I not happy? The next question of change. What must I do to become happy? What must I do to become complete? The execution phase. Let me set some new goals. Let me set some new plans. And then finally, let me take action and let me monitor my actions. All of this is in the Success Toolbox. So be sure to go to our website, herbertharris.com, click on the banner, Success Toolbox, and you will there have everything you need to get anything you want. Thanks so much for being with us today. Those of you who are listening, I'd love to have you make some comments. Once we post this, make some comments on how you are able to use the SQ3R study method. Any thoughts about it? Any comments on the book? And those of you who've gotten the Success Toolbox already, share some comments about how it's helped you transform your life. Thanks again, Dr. Herbert Harris, saying you can be what you want to be. You can do what you want to do. You can have anything you desire, always knowing that the best is yet to come. And so it is. Be blessed. Have a great, magnificent day, folks.